This is a 160 Q&A practice test. Plaintiff attorney Mr. Pastor, capital P-A-S-T-O-R. Defense attorney Mr. Wolff, capital W-O-L-F-F. And we'll start with defense attorney. Ready? Here we go. And Ms. Gold, you can't tell me the age of the stain of the DNA that was located in the mouthpiece of this mask, can you? That's correct. I cannot tell the age. You can't tell if that DNA was placed there on April 5th, 1997 or April 5th, 1990, can you? No, I can't. I mean, you did PCR DNA, right? We did PCR analysis, that's correct. Well, I'm sorry, PCR analysis. And is that the same thing? The same type of analysis that's used on dinosaur bones and things like that? Or am I off track? Yes, they do some PCR on ancient samples as well. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Gold. I have a few more questions, Ms. Gold. Mr. Wolff said if I put this mask on for a minute and took it off, there would be less of a chance of me putting DNA on it. Is that correct? That's if you put the mask on and take it off, in a minute, there's less likely that you're going to leave DNA than if you put the mask on and wear it around for a day. Okay, what if I put it on and go into, I don't want to put it on, but if I put it on and came up to you and I had a violent argument and I'm cursing and I'm enraged and I'm telling you, give it up, and you don't give it up, and I tell you over and over again, you and I are into a violent argument, is there more of a chance that I'm going to have spit on there and sweat on there than if I just put it on for a minute and take it off? Are you asking me if there's more of a chance that there's going to be DNA there? Yes, as a result of the spitting and the activity and the hyperactivity. Yeah, I would guess yes, much more so than the minute that Mr. Wolff would have you believe that this mask was worn. Is that correct? Yes, if someone simply touches the mask, there's not as much of a chance of getting DNA as if someone is spitting or sweating or salivating on the mask. So if there's a 10-minute confrontation, there's a much better chance of DNA being transferred than the minute of putting the hat on. Is that correct? That's correct. If I'm wearing this glove and I'm using it as a trigger, as a gun glove, and I'm using it for 10 or 15 minutes, there's a good chance I'm going to transfer cells, skin cells, in the inside of this glove, isn't it? I can't speculate on how good of a chance, but anytime you have prolonged contact with the item, there's more of a chance. Now tell me this, when Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office asked you to test this mask and whatever the tissue came from, because we were never given the benefit from anybody from JPSO. Objection, Your Honor, to tell us. Objection. Judge, Mr. Pastor has been given everything that we have. He has had this report for months to say we've never been given the benefit of what JPSO has. I'm asking her if she was ever given it. I'm asking her if she was ever given the benefit from the JPSO to know where that tissue came from, and she was just given a tissue and saying, examine this. I believe the proper question would be to the witness, do you know where the tissue came from? He's saying we didn't know where the tissue came from. I'll rephrase, meaning Mr. Pastor. I'll rephrase your question. You could have asked Detective Sachs, did Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Officer ever tell you where that tissue sample came from? The outside of the envelope that we received the tissue in is labeled, yes, as removed from the blue side of ski mask. And does it say that it's from the inside or the outside? No, it says suspect's tissues removed from blue side of ski mask. Tell me this, okay? I'm trying to get you to match certain items to a certain person, okay? And so I give you 1 or 2 samples first, and they come back negative to the person that I'm trying to identify it through, okay? Use that as my example, okay? The more items I give you to test that come up negative, let's say that I give you a shirt next and I ask you to check that, and you find DNA in the collar or you find DNA in the underarms from wearing a t-shirt. I stood like this and sweated in the underarms or in the cuffs of the shirt, right? Because I think you were telling us that it could rub off there. If you tested this, the collar and the underarms, and they also came back negative to the person that I was asking to test to, then there's more of a chance that that person wore either the shirt or the mask. Is that correct? I really couldn't speculate about that. Well, you're an expert. That's what you're here for. I am not an expert in investigating the crime. I am an expert in DNA analysis. The more positive samples you find on clothing, the more chance it is that one person wore all that clothing. That's true. Is that true? Yes. All right. So if you would have found DNA that matched Paul Mast or Tom Haynes on the mask and on the shirt and on the glove, then there's a real good chance that they had worn that at some time or another, right? That's correct. So if I started getting nervous that I'm going to get the bad results, the best thing for me to do is stop the testing. Objection, Your Honor. Speculation on the witness's part. That's what experts do. No, it's sustained. And if you get something like a mask and you don't find any hairs or any stains, is it true that the next place most likely to find the sample would be around the mouth area? That's what I would say, yes. Yeah, and once the sheriff's office found out that none of these samples matched Paul Mast or Tom Hayes, then they didn't ask you to do anything more. Right, let's see, we have a short word list. Ms. Gold, MS period, capital G-O-L-D. DNA is all caps, no periods, no spaces, DNA. PCR is all caps, no periods, no spaces, PCR. Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, capital Jefferson, new word, capital Parish, new word, capital Sheriff, capital O on office. Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. JPSO is all caps, no periods, no spaces, JPSO. Detective Sacks, capital S-A-C-K-S. Paul Mast, capital P-A-U-L, new word, capital M-A-S-T. Tom Haynes, capital T-O-M, new word, capital H-A-I-N-E-S. And that is it for the word list, and that will complete our 160 Q&A practice test.